Ryan Perry. Ryan, welcome. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing good. As best as can be done here in Michigan with this quarantine.
Yeah, I hear you. It's crazy times out there.
It is absolutely crazy. Now, you're back in Michigan or not yet?
No, I'm actually in Chicago this week for work. They sent me out here it was supposed to be just a couple of days, but I ended up staying the week just because travel is pretty complicated now. So I made the road trip instead of flying. Took a couple of days longer, but take a little extra precautions.
Yeah. So what do you do now? What's your job now?
I'm a project supervisor for a steam company. So we do heating and cooling and all the steam in city buildings and school districts and all that. So
You're a supervisor. Does that scare people?
That's what I thought when they asked me. I'm like, I guess.
I'm just kidding. Everybody knows that, at least in the ownership group, that I'm a Ryan Perry fan, and have been since the first year we did this. I heard a lot of stories about Ryan Perry this and Ryan Perry that, and I'm like, who's this Ryan Perry guy? And most of them weren't. I didn't see it. I think you're an awesome guy, and I'm really glad that you've been a big supporter of the league, and I'm so glad you got drafted. I mean, how did it feel to get drafted by your hometown team?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm just glad to be back a part of it. I mean, the first two seasons were a lot of fun. Me and all the guys from the Border Cats had a blast, and just the experience and trying to grow a professional roller hockey league, like what everyone wants to have happen and dreams about. Like if you can be a part of it and help it grow in any way, I think everyone should play their part and put the work in.
So is it going to be pretty exciting obviously you played at Dumars when we did it the first 2 years. You dominated. There's no other words to really put. I know that your buddy Hodge gave you a run in that last season, but going to Frasier where it sits 2,600 people, and they're going to be wearing Ryan Perry jerseys, and there's going to be away fans that have "We Hate Perry" signs. And how's that going to be? Like, have you ever experienced anything like that?
No, because I don't really have a background in ice hockey. So in roller hockey, you don't really – the most fans I ever played in front of was the debut night of NRHL Season 1 at Dumars when I think it was 400 or 500 people were there and packed in rink day. So it's exciting. I mean, my family lives in Frasier, so to have them all within a square mile of the rink, all coming out, and everyone get to see all the fans and see us play is exciting.
And I mean, we all know St. Louis is the mecca of pro roller hockey, being the Vipers, and their arena sits 9,600. And going to that swamp, how's that going to be? Going to that snake nest?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. That's definitely the roller hockey capital, if not California. So it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of fans. There's a lot of older guys there. There's a lot of experience and pro guys that also got drafted that team. So they're going to be a tough team to play against. Yeah,
they're all defense. 5 out of their 7 picks were defense.
Right. I mean, maybe that's the trick. It's definitely going to be tough.
And we look at your team, and you got an outstanding goalie drafted in Jerry Kuhn.
Yeah, he's awesome. I played with him with Alkali for a couple of years, and he's an amazing goalie.
No, you did beat him in the first NRHL championship, remember?
Yeah, he came back and subbed for those or joined in for playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, both their goalies went down, and here comes Kuhn, and oh my God.
Right.
Like, Border Cats, what happens?
Yeah, perfect timing for a guy like him to step in.
Yeah. Who are you most excited to play with on your team that you got drafted?
I'm pretty excited to play with the Hawk. I mean, we played together for a couple of years with the Border Cats, but we never had much experience. Maybe just a few tournaments. So to get back with him, we grew up together. So to have the experience and both get out there and fire the puck around is going to be pretty fun.
I mean, obviously, I look at the rosters, do all the social media, pretty much have a hand in everything. And I'm looking at Detroit's roster, and it looks pretty solid. I mean, you guys got the winningest player, the top ultimate trophy that you can win. You have a player who's won that. Right. In Chad LaRose. I mean, what's that kind of veteran leadership bring to a guy like you who's never played ice and that level of competitiveness I mean, we all appreciate the tournaments. We've all played in them, myself, most of the ownership. That's all we knew. But this guy's won the ultimate trophy in all of sports, arguably.
Yeah.
How's that, you think, drive your guys' team? Do you have an advantage with that?
Oh, definitely. He's going to be the calm to our team. He's been there. He's done way more than we've ever imagined. And I've met and played against him at Frasier just in house leagues and beer leagues. And he's the nicest guy in the world. He'll sit and talk with anybody. So I think to have him in the locker room is definitely going to be awesome and a good experience, and maybe keep the calm and leadership going into those big games with all the fans and the signs. And at least for me, I mean, I've never done it. So to have a guy like that to talk to and bounce ideas off of, it's awesome.
You know, and the irony is with Chad LaRose is he's one of the most exciting guys about this.
Yeah, he definitely is.
He's like a kid. And I talked to most of you guys throughout this draft, and even in Grand Rapids with Tristan Grant, who played in the NHL, and Chad LaRose. These guys were some of the most exciting guys. I mean, Tristan even said to me, I was drafted 7th round. I'm drafted in the 2nd round in the NRHL. This is the coolest thing. And I'm like, you got drafted in the NHL. And he was so excited like a kid. And it wasn't to downplay us. It was that guys like you that did this for 2 years brought us to that echelon that excited an NHL player.
Yeah, it's awesome to see just how the growth that those 2 seasons brought coming into this. And you have guys like Ethan Chavera and Joaquin that are asking about it from California, and they want to get involved in all over the country. Guys from other countries, other states are all excited and want to join in, and they're trying to find their way in and try to find a way to get involved. It's definitely awesome to see that it paid off and it's growing, and hopefully it just keeps going bigger and bigger from here.
So what do you tell somebody like Joaquin or Eton or Travis or?
Ethan and Joaquin asked a lot last year just at Nationals when we played with Rink Rat, and I told they're like, well, what are you doing to support? Like, are you trying to help? And I was like, yeah. I was like, they have all of our support. All the Detroit guys are doing what they can, whether it's a Facebook share or sending emails or messages out. Like, everyone's trying to do it and trying to grow it as much as possible. And they agree. Like, if they could, especially like you see Ethan and John doing their Cali street hockey, like they're trying to grow the sport, and them seeing that there's a professional league growing, even if it's in the Midwest, like they know it's going to grow out there, whether it's season 2 or season 3 and now even season 1, now that it's pushed back a year, like it could even happen then. So they're excited. They want to be on board and definitely see it grow.
Well, it's great because, you know, a lot of guys, and you're a roller hockey guy. You're like me. I became an ice guy out of necessity.
Right.
I grew up roller skating. My grandparents started the roller skating industry in the 1950s. All I knew was roller. I didn't switch to ice because there was no rollers. That's why I switched to ice, and my buddies pushed me. And so when I look at a guy like you, or even an Eton or a Travis, those guys who are, to me, the pure roller hockey guy, Cody Kettler, these guys, the thing they haven't ever experienced is the idea of pro hockey. And while we've seen are the leagues that are more of what we call pod leagues, like we did. It's local, get you a start. How do you get out of that? Right. So some of their thinking is, well, I'm in California, I can't play.
Yeah.
No, you can. This is pro hockey. We aren't. You're local to Detroit. Great. That saves a housing cost.
Right.
But a Bittner, who was drafted in the 7th round of Grand Rapids, isn't local, and he's going to be housed. And those guys, I think, did they ever ask you about that kind of thing? Do you know?
They didn't mention it much. I don't think they thought it was even a possibility because it hasn't been a possibility since the RHI, and that was mostly before anyone I know played professional hockey or played top-level roller hockey. So they don't know much. But I think if you get those guys involved, like those are huge names. Like Ethan is probably debatably the biggest name in roller hockey, maybe ever to be a roller hockey player all over the country. So I mean, reaching out and I'll let them know, and maybe they can get involved too. It's something that I don't think many pure roller hockey players even think that is a possibility because it never happened before.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Ryan. I think our biggest challenge with some of the roller hockey guys is conveying that message.
Yeah.
That we're not going to have an Anaheim team necessarily this year. We may not. We don't know. But come to Detroit. Come to St. Louis.
Yeah.
This is like that. And it's guys like you that are out there, and you're the best. Honest to God, we did this for 2 years, and out of all the players, I felt the greatest support from you, and we appreciate that, especially Bobby and I, having started this. So we obviously always want to thank you for that. And
absolutely, whatever I can do to see. I mean, you watch the RHI videos, and that's like the coolest thing you could ever imagine. So if I could help out in any way to make that happen again, even for the kids growing up, for them to have something to aim to play in, like that's huge, I think.
So what's your biggest hockey memory? Being a roller hockey guy, what's your biggest or best accomplishment? Or
NRHL both years is huge. I mean, to win both seasons with the Border Cats the way we did, we had fun. I got to play against some of my best friends and battle with them on a weekly basis. I think that's probably especially the debut night, the opening night. That's the most fans I've ever played in front of. I had my whole family there. You had fans with signs and kids with jerseys and signing signatures after games. Like that's probably the biggest it's ever been for me. I mean, I won NRH with Alkali in 2017, so that's obviously huge. Like that's something you always want to do growing up, especially once you get to the pro level. It doesn't come often, so you got to enjoy it when you can. But I definitely think NRHL is a huge, huge part of my pro career memories.
That's awesome. So what is something that a fan doesn't know about Ryan Perry that they would be interesting to them?
Oh man. I don't know. I think most people think I'm like a jerk or an a-hole on the rink, and that's not how I am off the rink at all, and most people will attest for that. I mean,
Yep.
I'm probably one of the nicest. I consider myself one of the nicest off the rink, especially if we have a beer, just have a chat. Like, especially most guys I battle with on the rink, like we hang out off the rink after every game, and most of them are good friends of mine from all over the country. So I think that fans, maybe if they'll give me a chance off the rink, they'll see
That's true. Like I said, I heard a lot of Ryan Perry this and Ryan Perry that.
Right.
And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? No, when I saw you play, you are the biggest a-hole on the rink, like you said. But I like that. I appreciate that. I was that way, so I like it.
Right.
So out of all the players you've seen the draft, who do you look forward to playing against? Maybe you've never played against. Is there anybody you're like, man, I'm kind of interested to see how I get to play against them or that team? Or
I'm excited to get a lot of the ice hockey guys in it. I'm excited to have like the guys from the Griffins, and you have McCollum coming. Like those guys are huge to play against. They bring a different style of game. They don't do what you would normally play against. Like they play a different style. They skate differently. They make different moves. They think differently. So to play against that, I think will bring a different variable to every game. Especially St. Louis when coming in and they have guys like Kettler and Kavaya, and like that's two of the best defensemen in the professional roll hockey. So for them all to be on the same team it's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be.
But they don't have a goalie drafted or signed yet.
Right.
And as you guys know, especially the Border Cats, having Jason Strauss in net was a big difference in those 2 years.
Yeah, huge. Strauss is unbelievable. Some of the saves he makes, even the whole our bench is in awe, and their jaw drops.
He's one of my favorites to watch in terms of goaltending. He reminds me of a Buffalino and Lowry from back in the day, the way he makes saves.
Right. It's crazy. Even if you go to a summer tournament and everyone on the rink is like, how did he even save that? You're like, yeah, that's Strauss.
Yeah. That was just normal.
Right. That was even like crazy compared to what I've seen him do.
Grand Rapids is the team that I know I've heard chatter and I've heard different interviews and I've heard obviously seen all the comments. The one everybody keeps going, oh, it's not a roller hockey team. And in fact, every guy there has played roller hockey.
Right.
And they're mostly ice hockey guys who played roller or grew up playing roller, like Shine and even Brooks. And Shane Bennett plays roller every summer too. I mean,
yeah, I met Bennett maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago at a local Buffalo tournament. He's an unbelievable roller hockey talent. And Alex Brooks, I actually grew up playing with in roller.
Really?
We played 18 and under and juniors together back from when he played out of Detroit with us. And Splinsky played with him too.
Nice. Yeah,
And
a
then
great guy. I've known Brooks for a little bit.
DeBrincat too. DeBrincat's another roller hockey guy. Almost his whole life. So just because they play ice now, I mean, a lot of those kids grew up doing the same thing that the rest of us did.
Yeah. I think that especially in pro ice, you're seeing more of that today. And when Gretzky is telling Ovi, go out and get on rollerblades.
Right.
And you're raising your hand. Let me teach you. I know how.
Yeah, it's crazy to see it with everything being canceled, and you see guys like Jack Hughes and Brock Besser and those guys all just roller skating around. It's pretty cool to see. If only they would give it a chance to play, and I think they'd enjoy it just like everyone else does. You have guys like Maroon and almost the whole Port Huron team that plays AHL or East Coast, and they're all coming back and playing every summer.
Yeah. I mean, do you see a Pat Maroon showing up sometime?
I hope so. I think a guy – I don't know if Pat will. I think that he's kind of over it by now. But I think some of those younger guys that are coming in, if they got a little taste of it and saw, like, it's not as easy and how competitive and how fun it is, I think you could definitely get some stars out there.
Who would you like to play against? If you could pick anybody out there that hasn't been drafted or PTO, anybody, who would you like to see? Who would you want to play against the most?
Guys,
who would you want to walk?
It's not easy. I like playing against and Cody got drafted, but Corey Kettler, a guy like that, just grinds the whole game. He's a tough guy to play against. There's tons of guys from Buffalo, like guys like Jess Hackett. They're not like big names, but they're so hard to play against. And if the more you play against them, I mean, the better you become anyway. So to see guys like that come play, or even Kavai, like we don't play against each other very often, but he's probably the best defenseman that I've ever played against. So it's exciting to have like a regular scheduled game to play against him and maybe learn some tricks or something about him to give me an advantage if possible.
Now, do you think it's an advantage for you coming from having done this already where it's one game a day, 2 on a weekend? I don't know how often you guys practice, but probably practicing every day with this. Is that an advantage for you over a guy like a Kettler he did it in college a little bit, but
yeah,
not at this level? Is that an advantage for you over the tournament guy coming in?
I don't know, guys. A lot of guys like Kettler and those high-level guys can just – it's a flick of a switch. They play one game. It's usually the first game of the tournament. Everyone's a little rusty, and then it's like he never missed a beat. And then the guys like Kavai and that have the experience from overseas. They're over in France or Spain, and so they're getting the games in too. So, I mean, maybe the first couple of weeks you might get an advantage over a couple of guys if they're a little rusty or out of shape. But in the long run, I think everyone's going to be on the same page trying to stay in shape or stay healthy. And
what do you look forward to the most in this?
The fans and just the fun, just to get out and play the long pro games on a regular basis. I mean, it's something that's I've only done when I played NRHL, and I haven't done it since. I played Pi Ha this last season, and it's a struggle. We played, I think, 8 games in a day, and you're playing against teams like Suffolk Sting, and it's almost all of black ice. So it's like, how do you play a team like that 8 times in one day, and you end up getting spanked, and it's just too much. So I think 1 game a day, 2 on a weekend is awesome. I definitely look forward to it.
Yeah, and we know that's one of the things that you really liked back in the day, as you'd said, and most of the guys, that you get to come in and compete hard. You didn't lay off because there was no game this afternoon or tonight, or maybe this team isn't as strong as what we're going to play later, so let's lay off a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's you have to put everything into it. And even after 1 game in the NRHL, you're sore till the next day, or you're sore for a couple of days, like, because everyone's putting their bodies on the line and throwing bodies around. And when you play 8 games in a day, most people don't skate hard the first game of the day because they know they have 7 more. So it's definitely exciting. It's exciting to be able to put it all out there like you would. I mean, in a tournament maybe, but even a tournament, you have 2-3 games on a Sunday. Like It's
Yeah.
tough.
It's tough, and we've all done it, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different style. It's with this, you're coming in. It's a job. It's not necessarily a fun. It's a job. It's that you've done it. It's
Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, we got 4 teams right now. Obviously, we had to postpone the season. We all knew I feel that we've had a lot of support. The fans, the sponsors, you guys.
Yeah.
Feel we made the right decision. I mean, we'd have been opening training camps, if not already,
Right.
and we're still not able to have fans. So, do you think that extra year helps a guy like you get maybe better prepared versus maybe 2 or 3 months, knowing that it's a long season and you're
Right.
going to see a team maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 times? The rivalries build up.
Yeah, definitely. I especially myself, I know I could use the extra few months to get back into shape. I mean, living in Connecticut, the closest rink was like an hour without traffic. With traffic,
Oh,
hour and a half. So I'd go out there maybe once a week. So I haven't been skating as much as I'd like. But I know ever since the draft, even if I had to go outside, I've been skating around a couple days. We did like 15 miles just to get a skate in, like just to try to stay active, and definitely gave me something to look forward to. But I think the extra year is definitely going to help me get in shape, and I think it'll help me stay healthy. I'll be able to get healthy before the season and maybe the longevity of the season and not get hurt or hurt myself in any way.
no, that's good. Part of our goal has always been about promoting you guys, and we want to get you guys out there in the public. It gives us more time to do that. Everything's about, and from what we told you guys in the very beginning, is this was about you.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where my connection to you is that you're what I saw myself when I was younger. I'm the roller hockey guy, and I want this.
Right.
And guys like you have driven me to work that much harder because, if it doesn't work, you have nowhere.
Right.
You have 3 tournaments, and those are great. They're outstanding. We appreciate them. We know they kept the sport alive. But you're not a DeBrincat or a Shine that says, no big deal. I'm not just going to do it on the side. I go
Right.
back to do my regular job. And it's been important to us with guys like you. So I appreciate you keeping it going.
Always.
And keep working hard, man. Because Detroit's going to be – looks like a pretty good team.
Yeah, I'm excited. With the guys signed, like Schultz and Smolinski, like those are huge guys coming into training camp, and with the guys drafted, I mean, I think we definitely have a solid team. And like you said, with Kuhn in the back, like it's a huge goaltender to have. So I think we definitely have a solid team moving forward.
Who's the best goalie drafted so far? Is it Kuhn, McCollum, the Finnish guy, and I can try to pronounce his name, Jerry Calais, Emile Kaukinen.
I saw that. I think Kuhn. I think he's definitely the most talented and the most steadily sound. I mean, I've seen him play for years, and I played with him for a couple of years, and he's one of the goalies I can say I've never seen like break down. He's maybe a bad goal goes in, but then he's right back. Like he's the most steady, sound goalie that I've maybe even ever seen.
Yeah, I got to witness him play roller when we said, he stepped in those playoffs after getting right back from Germany. No roller training. He didn't have any time. He just stepped right on the rink, and
it's
he took
exciting.
you guys
He's
pretty close to losing.
Yeah, he pushed. He definitely changed the whole game as soon as he stepped in.
So, what's some things? What's your favorite food? Favorite movie? What are some things that? Why would fans want to connect with Ryan Perry?
Oh, favorite foods. I'm a big snack guy. I like snacks. I like candy, but I try to stay off of it. Now that I'm getting older, I can't keep doing it the way I have growing up.
You don't want to end up like this, bud. This is your future with that stuff.
Yeah, I used to be able to eat whatever I want, but now I gotta really watch what I do. I try to stay on kind of strict diet, but they definitely stray off. I think chicken wings is probably my favorite food. We have an air fryer now, so I make them in the air fryer once a week at least. Yeah, I like to go for runs and get outside. I love my dog. We go out to the dog park probably 3 or 4 times a week. We go on runs, and she loves to skate. She'll go skate with me. We'll go around the city. She'll pull me most of the time because I can't keep up with her. But yeah, I don't know. I just like to have fun. I like to be with friends and just hang out.
What's your favorite activity outside of roller hockey?
Golf, definitely golf.
Golf.
I'm a big golf guy. I picked it up maybe 2 years ago, and I golf maybe last summer. I golf 3 or 4 times a week. So, as soon as the course is back open with carts, I'll be right back out there. Hacking
but you're not doing the walking thing.
No, I tried. It's exhausting stuff. It is exhausting. I'm not very good either, so having to walk after my ball every time I slice it off into the woods is very fun.
Oh, I'm that way. It's like the Caddyshack 2 slice. It goes this way and then.
Right. 2 fairways over the right.
Well, Ryan, I really appreciate you joining us, man. It's glad to have you part of the league, really, personally, and as the president of the league. I think you bring a great aspect to the game. The support you're showing us, I think, is really important, and I appreciate you taking the time to do this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, and hopefully see you sooner than later.